Hey, what's going on, friends and theme park fans? This is Silver Stix here for another Stix Top 6, where I count down the best and worst that theme parks have to offer. In this episode, I'll be discussing the top 6 best rides at Walt Disney World, and this includes each of the 4 parks, mainly because Magic Kingdom is the only one with over 8 rides, so I couldn't really do the best and worst of each because there's not enough. So yeah, that's why I'll be picking a few rides from each park to make up this list of the absolute best of the best attractions, at least in my opinion. So if you disagree or feel I left any rides off the list that you feel deserve a spot, let me know in the comments and we can start a discussion down there. And one final thought, all these rides are being judged on the ride-through alone. Not the queue, not the staff working there, not the gift shop afterwards, just the rides themselves. So anyway, with all that being said, let's jump right into the countdown. Number 6. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Starting off our list, we'll be heading over to Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom to ride this insanely stylized Omni-Mover Dark Ride Shooting Gallery attraction. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin was opened on November 3rd, 1998, and has remained one of the most popular attractions in the park since. Truly, the only reason I'm putting this at number 6 instead of higher on the list is because the other versions of this ride throughout the world's Disney parks are much more advanced than our Florida version, unfortunately. The laser guns on the ride vehicle are stationary in our version, meanwhile they're connected to a wire that you can face in any direction for an easier experience in the others. And in Shanghai specifically, the attraction is called Buzz Lightyear Planet Rescue, and after seeing that, all you'll want is for them to revamp our version for this clearly superior variant. However, regardless of which Disney park you're visiting, from Hollywood to Paris to Florida and everywhere in between, this 4 to 5 minute attraction is still an absolute thrill to ride through, and it's definitely worth the usual long wait time it can garner, and I guarantee once you ride through one time and see all the impressive animatronics and spin around watching the targets change as you shoot everything in sight, you won't be able to get enough. There's a reason even after building a Toy Story land, they still keep this one around in Tomorrowland. It's an absolute gem and a Disney fan favorite, and I don't see it going anywhere for a very, very long time. Number 5. Splash Mountain. Moving over to the Frontierland portion of the Magic Kingdom, we're heading on to the 1946 movie Song of the South inspired log flume / dark ride, the legendary Splash Mountain. This ride follows the story of Brer Rabbit's journey to find his laughing place, and thus takes us through an incredible 11-minute and 45-second dark ride with 5 separate drops, including a final plunge of 50 feet, where you get a wonderful view of the Cinderella Castle. And throughout this wet and wild adventure, there are 68 different exceptionally impressive audio animatronic animals used to immerse you completely in this world. Not to mention the incredible ending sequence with all the animals joining together to sing the classic and insanely catchy Disney tune, Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. The thrills on this ride are high, but not to the point of extreme anxiety, making this a great attraction for the entire family to enjoy. And with the long ride duration, it's certainly a nice way to cool off from the Florida heat during the day. This attraction has been open since October 2nd, 1992, and has made waves not only in its water, but in popularity amongst guests as well. And once you get a taste of Splash Mountain, you'll understand the hype that this one-of-a-kind attraction consistently receives. Number 4. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. In the Sunset Boulevard area of Disney's Hollywood Studios lies the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Opened on July 22, 1994, this 3-minute and 23-second drop tower ride is based on the 1960s TV show of the same name, The Twilight Zone. This drop tower is unlike others you'll find at any other theme park, as most will simply drop you from a tower, hence the name. Whereas Disney's Tower of Terror takes you to random floors of the hotel using a bungee cord on the top and bottom of the elevator to pull you or thrust you up and down depending on the scene you find yourself in. The elevator drops at a speed of 39 miles per hour and reaches a maximum height of 157 feet in the air, however the biggest drop is 130 feet down. Throughout this insanely thrilling and mind-bending attraction you'll come across ghostly imagery and even travel through the 5th dimension. The way the ride vehicle travels throughout the hotel while simultaneously throwing you in random drop patterns gives you a strange feeling of disorientation that only Disney could accomplish. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror may seem daunting at first, and it is quite an intense ride through. However, this one-of-a-kind, incredible attraction deserves to be enjoyed by every Disney fan out there. Number 3. Expedition Everest. Heading over to the Asia section of Disney's Animal Kingdom for Expedition Everest. Opened on April 7, 2006, this steel chain lift coaster has you traveling from the Himalayas to the top of Mount Everest at 199.5 feet in the air. Throw in a portion of the ride you take on backwards, the escape from the infamous YETI, and an 80-foot maximum drop with a maximum speed of 50 miles per hour makes Expedition Everest an extremely thrilling and exhilarating attraction. The only real downside to this ride in its current state is, of course, the YETI being set to A mode, where he remains stationary with strobe lights surrounding him, giving the illusion that he's moving, instead of how in 2006 he could swing his mighty arm only inches from the ride vehicle and passengers. Joe Rohde, head Imagineer for Expedition Everest, however, stated at the 2013 D23 Expo that he will, and I quote, "fix the YETI someday, I promise." So if that's not enticing enough, then I don't know what is. But essentially, Expedition Everest is already an incredible attraction, and once the YETI is restored to its former glory, this ride will finally take back over as king of the Animal Kingdom. Number 2. Pirates of the Caribbean. Moving back over to the Magic Kingdom, specifically Adventureland, to visit the classic 8-minute and 30-second boat-driven dark ride, Pirates of the Caribbean, which tells the story of a band of pirates and their troubles and expeditions at sea. And in 2006, Jack Sparrow animatronics were added to 3 separate scenes to tie into the growing movie franchise. Along with adding Jack Sparrow, this attraction features 119 separate audio animatronics, 630,000 gallons of water, and songs like Oh Susanna, Camptown Races, and of course, Yo Ho, to help immerse you in this admittedly intense story. However, while I do say this attraction is rather intense, I mean it in a good way. This is one of the most lively and realistic dark rides that exists. The scale of everything and how expansive each area feels can definitely be intimidating. But take it from me, I remember this ride fondly from my childhood, and I was extremely nervous the first time we entered with the smell of the water throughout the dimly lit queue. But I ended up fighting my nerves and absolutely adored it, and I've loved it ever since. I feel like this ride is meant to feel intimidating as you're entering the intimidating world of pirates. Honestly, this ride feels a bit like a rite of passage, and for Disney fans, it basically is. There's a reason it's such a fan favorite, and if you somehow still haven't ridden this exceptional attraction, then I beyond recommend it. Honorable Mention: Slinky Dog Dash. So for my honorable mention, it was a fairly easy choice. Slinky Dog Dash opened June 30th, 2018 as the e-ticket attraction for Hollywood Studios' new Toy Story Land. The reason I saved this for my honorable mention slot on the list is honestly because I haven't been on this ride yet, and I haven't even been to Toy Story Land yet. However, the absolutely incredible theming, including the use of Slinky Dog, who's my favorite character from Toy Story, the ending with Wheezy singing You've Got a Friend in Me, and based on all the positive reviews I've heard, Slinky Dog Dash is a great coaster. It provides just enough thrills and excitement in its 2-minute length without going over the limit, and it just simply seems fun. It has a maximum speed of 40 miles per hour and includes 2 separate launch pads and seems absolutely incredible. I'll obviously give an update on my opinions once I've ridden it for myself, but I needed to at least give credit where credit is due to what seems to be an absolute gem of a ride. Number 1. The Haunted Mansion. So we're finally here in Liberty Square of the Magic Kingdom for the number 1 spot on our list for the absolute best ride at Walt Disney World, at least in my opinion, and without a doubt, it's the Haunted Mansion. Similar to Pirates of the Caribbean, I distinctly remember this ride terrifying me as a kid on the first time I went on. My mom still to this day tells me about how I was holding a signpost crying because I didn't want to go inside, but my whole family ended up convincing me to go, and from the second I stepped inside, I was in shock and I was simply amazed. I loved every single inch of this attraction, from the walls stretching, to the ghost host's chilling voice, to the actual ride itself. This ride is 7 minutes and 30 seconds long and takes you through some of the most wickedly intriguing sets you could imagine. Whether it's the library with the busts that follow your every move, the infinite stairway scene, or even the classic attic set. Unfortunately not featuring the Hatbox Ghost, as that's a Disneyland exclusive. However, this ride is incredibly immersive and always sends my imagination soaring. I always love when Disney adds a slight edge to their attractions or movies, and this is no exception. I absolutely adore this ride and all of its mind-bending tricks, and so do so many other Disney fans to the point it's become its own experience by itself. Honestly, going to Disney is worth it for the Haunted Mansion alone. Incredible animatronics, incredible Imagineering, and an all-around incredible time. There's no such thing as a bad ride-through of the Haunted Mansion, and I honestly pray it breaks down while I'm on board, just so I get the opportunity to be on it even longer. This is the definition of a one-of-a-kind attraction that theme parks have tried to replicate time after time again, but can never compete against. The Haunted Mansion is beyond legendary status and in of itself defines the best parts of Walt Disney World all wrapped up into one perfect attraction that you simply cannot miss anytime you're visiting the park. Alrighty folks, that's going to about wrap up my Stix Top 6 Best Rides at Walt Disney World Orlando. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video around. It'd help out a ton. And leave in the comments your favorite rides at Walt Disney World or just any theme park topics you'd like to talk about, and let's start a discussion in the comments below. But anyway, with all that being said, this is Silver Stix signing out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, theme park fans. Peace.